things we've discussed. So basically, in your setup, the things I like are the following. Your club face is at a 90-degree angle behind the center of the ball pretty much every time. Your grip, both hands work together pretty well as a unit. I know you keep the thumb of your bottom hand kind of off the golf club, but as long as your grip pressure maintains itself, I have no issue with that. A lot of guys would re-grip it or squeeze it. And in most cases, you'd have your thumb of your bottom hand just off to the side of the grip. Just gives you more support, right? If it's off like your thumb was off entirely, the club could move there potentially. So that thumb should stay on the side of the grip. You know, and yours is right off it completely. So that's just something with the grip a little bit. Alignment in general is pretty good, even though maybe your left foot's minimally ahead of your right. You know, hips and shoulders are lined up in a complementary position alongside the leading edge of the club face. What varied a little bit earlier was sometimes your spine angle was too tilted forward. I know you talked about hitting good shots and feeling like you're more over top of the golf club. You know, that's a good feeling, but if you can set the shaft angle first of the golf club and then tilt nice and tall with your spine angle, followed by little knee flex, you'll be on the balls of your feet, so balanced. You'll stay more connected, whereby your arms hang below your shoulders. And the universal distance gauge will be your head or chin position, just pretty much in line or over top of your hands on the golf club to give you good distance gauging with any length of golf club as a goal. Simplify it, right? So if we stand in tall positions, because you did tend to fluctuate that body weight. A couple times it was more centered, a couple times it was heel. So these little things, if they vary, of course, that's going to vary. You're going to have to compensate and recover. Things can break down. So if we're nice and tall, balanced on a regular basis and in the same postured positions, you can build a more repeatable swing no matter what club you use. Okay? I'm not saying they're bad, but they can always be sharpened, right? So we're going to watch the swing motion from the positions you're in here. So during the takeaway, you can see how the golf club, it tends to get picked up. See it early on? It gets lifted. So it gets lifted up and moves a little bit outside the ball line. And then from there, you pick it up and then place it up over your back shoulder. So what the reason for part of this here is if we get a little too flat-footed with our body weight, you cannot take the club back in a very neutral one-piece position, or you might fall over, obviously. So the club has to move out and then up to get your weight from your heels more forward, right, to keep you centered. So ideally, I like to have that club go back, as I saw in a few of your swings, on a more direct takeaway type extension, right? And that's easier to achieve with good balance and distancing from the ball, right? But you do a good job of getting it there. Now the key is how well can we get it back? So from that position, you can see how your arms kind of drop down on a pretty good return path in this particular swing. And you're going to re-extend the club towards the ball. And you're squaring it up here nicely. So you time this one quite well and get through it. The question is, how well can we have it come down in the same path when it's more of that hitch in your swing? Think about it. If it goes out and up, it's most likely going to go out and across, right? Potentially. If it goes more directly back and up with your shoulders, it can naturally return from the inside and extend out with the pivoting of your body weight or the shift. So I would just kind of work on the takeaway as far as the swing trigger. Make sure it's going back with a good shoulder turn. And the setup and the positions I mentioned will help make that more natural and more possible. And that should help consistency, you know.